Once upon a time, in a quiet town, there lived a young man named Daniel. Daniel was 22 years old. He was kind, intelligent, and full of dreams. But there was one problem. He was terrified of talking to people. Every time he entered a room, his heart beat faster. When someone spoke to him, his hands shook. If he had to speak in front of others, his face would turn red. He always thought, what if I say something wrong? What if they laugh at me? What if I look stupid? Because of this fear, Daniel avoided people. He walked with his head down. He skipped parties. He ate lunch alone. He felt trapped inside his own mind. He wanted to speak freely. He wanted to make friends. But the fear was like a wall he could not climb. One day, Daniel heard a story about a wise teacher who lived in the same town. People said this teacher had helped many shy students find their voice. Daniel gathered his courage and decided to visit him. When Daniel arrived, he found the teacher sitting under a big tree. The teacher's face was calm. His eyes were kind. Daniel sat down and whispered, "Sir, I am afraid of talking to people. My words freeze in my mouth. I feel small. Can you help me?" The teacher smiled gently. He said, "Daniel, I will give you a small task. It may feel strange, but if you do it, you will learn something important." The teacher held up a glass of water. It was filled to the very top. He gave it to Daniel and said, "Walk across the busy market. Hold this glass steady. Do not spill even a single drop. Then return to me." Daniel looked surprised. The market was full of people. Shops were loud. Children were playing. Men and women were talking. He thought, everyone will see me. They will stare at me. They will laugh if I spill. But he trusted the teacher. So he took the glass carefully in his hands and began to walk. Step by step, he moved through the market. Voices echoed around him. People passed by. But Daniel kept his eyes on the water. He did not look left or right. He did not think about who was watching. His mind stayed on the glass. And slowly, he reached the other side without spilling a drop. He turned back and walked again. This time, a group of children shouted and ran near him. His heart jumped. But still, he focused only on the water. He reached the teacher, the glass full and steady. Breathing deeply, he said, "I did it. I carried the water. No drop spilled." The teacher smiled. "Tell me, Daniel," she asked, "while you carried the glass, did you hear the noise of the market?" Daniel shook his head. "No, sir. I heard nothing. I only saw the water." "Did you feel afraid of people watching you?" "No, sir. I was too focused." The teacher nodded. That is the secret. Fear grows when your mind looks outside, when it wonders what others think of you. But when your mind looks at the task in front of you, fear disappears. You were not afraid because your focus was on the water. In the same way, when you speak to people, keep your focus not on their faces, not on their judgment, but on the message you want to share. Focus on your words. Focus on the meaning, and your fear will fade. Daniel's eyes widened. For the first time, he understood. All his life, he had been looking at people's reactions. Their smiles, their frowns, their whispers. No wonder he felt afraid. But now he knew. The answer was simple. Look at the message, not at the fear. The teacher placed a hand on Daniel's shoulder. Confidence is not about being loud. It is about being present. One word, one breath, one step at a time. That night, Daniel practiced speaking in front of his mirror. Instead of thinking about mistakes, he focused on telling the story. His voice grew steady. His heart slowed down. The next day, at the bakery, he tried something new. He looked at the baker and said, "Good morning. How are you today?" To his surprise, the words flowed easily. The baker smiled back. Daniel felt a small victory. Day by day, he spoke to more people. First, a short greeting. Then small conversations. Then longer talks. The fear did not disappear at once. But each time, he remembered the glass of water. Focus on the task, not the fear. Weeks later, Daniel stood in front of his class. For the first time, he shared his thoughts without trembling. His classmates listened. His voice was clear. When he finished, the room was quiet. Then came the applause. Daniel smiled. Not because people clapped, but because he had finally spoken without fear. From that day, Daniel was not the same. He still felt nervous sometimes, but he no longer let fear control him. He remembered the lesson of the glass. Confidence is not about others. Confidence is about focus. So if you ever feel afraid to speak, if your heart beats fast, if your words get stuck, remember Daniel's story. Take a breath, focus on your message, and walk forward, step by step, word by word. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving ahead even when fear whispers. And when you focus on what truly matters, you will find your voice. If this story touched you, give it a like and share it with someone who needs courage. And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories that bring hope and confidence. Thank you for listening. See you in the next story.